It's a dark and stormy night here in Brighton on the 1st of October 2020. But I'm not gloomy because the 1st of October means it's the beginning of Victober. And Victober is one of the best things on Booktube, when we get to wrap up warm and delve into the riches of Victorian literature. But this year there's an extra interactive Victober delight. And it goes by the name of The Fate of Jane Moore. Now Jane, sadly bereaved by the loss of her two parents, is living in Victorian Brighton, as it happens. But she faces some tricky life choices, and the decisions she makes are going to seal her fate and her future. And you get to make those choices for her. Yes, it's a Victorian style choose your own adventure story created by about 24 Booktubers and Bookstagrammers, many of whom you'll know, and it all launches on tomorrow morning, that's the 2nd of October, via Kate Howe's channel, so I'll link to that below, and you'll be able to follow the story of Jane Moore, and as created by some such creative booktubers who've written and recorded and edited and made it all knit together so that it works. I hope I've whetted your appetite for this very special treat. Meanwhile, of course, the other lovely thing about Victober is the books we get to read. And I haven't done a Victober TBR yet, so I'm going to kind of tack that on to the end of this announcement video. So, our hosts have all set prompts for us for Victober. Katie's prompt is to read a Victorian book that kind of equates to one of your favourite genres in contemporary fiction. And I really enjoy a political novel, and so I've picked Elizabeth Gaskell's North and South, where it's a novel of the Industrial Revolution, which makes it sound a bit dry, but actually I read this when I was in my teens and adored it. It's also a love story. It's everything a novel should be, and I'm really looking forward to rereading it for the first time in like 40 years. Kate's challenge is to read a new to you book by a favourite Victorian author, a book or a short story, she said. And I've decided that one of my favourite Victorian novelists is Thomas Hardy, but I'm going to read for Victober this year a book of his poetry. I've read some of his poems, but I've never read a whole collection of them, so certainly new to me. The third host challenge is from Lucy, and that's to read a Victorian diary or collection of letters, and I want to do that, but I haven't picked that yet, so I'm going to be looking at everybody else's TBR to be inspired as to what I should pick. But the fourth challenge is they invited other booktubers and commenters to suggest a possible Victober challenge, and then picked from those, and the one they picked was to read a book that you had been on a previous Victober TBR, something that you've been meaning to read for ages and ages. And so this is the month when I'm going to read Bleak House by Charles Dickens, which is one of those books that I can't believe I've never read it. It is a bit of a chunky one, which perhaps explains why, but I love Dickens, so why have I never read Bleak House, which is one of his best? So what lucky me, I get to read that. And the final challenge is to read something Victorian dressed in a Victorian outfit, so I'll see if I can crack that one as well. A little bit trickier than reading by candlelight, which was last year's, which was loads of fun. So I hope you're all planning to have a brilliant Victober. Follow the link below to Kate's channel to find out how to get involved in the fate of Jane Moore.